some of you get my emails or follow me on social media. I've been talking a little bit about like being in a funk and having like sticky thought patterns that are really coming up for me. Because for me personally, this time has been a lot of solitude in a way where I feel like I am in an ashram, like studying a lot and doing a lot of meditation. And I'm starting to notice as I get a little more clear and grounded these thought patterns, which is like how the brain works, right? We have like neural pathways that are burrowed in the brain that create these habituated patterns that our brain kind of goes back to over and over again. And I realized that one of mine, which I am like pretty attached to and proud of, is that I'm a very analytical person. I like to understand things and dissect things and be intellectual so that I love to play in that world of like intellectualizing stuff. But I'm realizing that there's a point, I heard this saying the other day from another teacher. She's like, at a certain point, you have got to stop picking up the pile of shit and examining it, put it down, just put it down and move towards the light. Like at a certain point, like it's really great to recognize our conditioning or our patterns or what we want to overcome. But the whole crux of these contemplative and yoga practices is really not that you do anything, but that once you find it, once you discover the clarity around your conditioning, it's that you let it go. And that for me is kind of this cyclical rabbit hole I've been in for the past few weeks of like, I will start to notice, you know, I have this habit to like focus on negativity because I want to fix problems. And then my brain goes, okay, well, then we better focus on the fact that we're focusing on negativity and try to fix that when that's not really the point. The point is to notice it, have some compassion for it, and let it go. So, which is easier said than done. Some of you may have heard me poorly quote this before from Krishna Das, who is one of my favorite teachers in the Bhakti Yoga lineage. Let's see if I can get it right. He says, you cannot escape the prison of the mind that's created by thoughts using the mind. So I'll repeat that and try to say it in a more succinct way. You cannot use your thoughts to escape the prison of the mind created by thoughts. Like at a certain point, you have to drop out of the brain. And then what happens is you start to realize that you have this innate wisdom inside of you, and the mind, or what it's sometimes called as the ego, can actually be a tool for that wisdom. So today's class, my intention is it's going to be some like different, like some pretty more intense breath work with the intention of working with getting us out of those really sticky thought patterns, because sometimes they're really freaking sticky and tricky. So some of them are going to be a little more intense. Some of you have done them with me. This is kind of like Kundalini or Sattva yoga style, right? And hi, everybody that just so my contraindications for this is if you're on your moon cycle, or you've got like tummy stuff going on, or any sort of cardiovascular stuff going on, that you just kind of like tone the volume gauge and the intensity of this breath work down, you know, like 50%. Okay, and I'm always hesitant to teach this kind of stuff when I'm not with you in person, because it does kind of build energy. So I'm trusting that you know what's best for yourself. Okay. So I was going to ask if you have any questions, but I feel like that's the list. Good. Okay. So we'll start with a centering practice, and then we'll move into pranayama. We'll be seated for a bit, probably like 15 plus minutes, right? So it's your body, it's your practice. So please move or adjust as you need to, right? And tap out at any time, right? Ultimately, if these practices aren't tools that are going to work for you, that's okay. The most important thing is that you're paying attention, okay? So please find a comfortable seat. Unless today is a day where your body really wants you to lay down, then please lay down. Okay, and I'll give you that with the caveat of that when we start to do the pranayama work, it's encouraged that you're seated and you're upright and your spine is tall. Okay? But for this first part, if you want to lay down just to kind of drop in, that's great. I know for me with these home practices, there's like an energetic shift I have to very intentionally create. It's not like going to a studio, right? So whatever that is for you, whether that's taking an extra clearing breath, whether that's closing your eyes, right? that thing that you need to do to really drop in and create a container for yourself to focus on yourself and practice. The crown of the head is over the tailbone, and there's this relationship between the skull and the pelvis through the spine. Can you notice how they relate to each other, how they support each other? And can you settle into trusting in the stability of your body to hold you in this space? And then become a bit more intentional with your breathing, please. Okay, so start by noticing it. Remind yourself there is no right or wrong way to breathe. Then see if you can encourage the breath to drop deeper into the abdomen as you inhale. And let there be this lifting action of the pelvic floor as you exhale, and the shoulders soften at the same time. So it's almost like you are pulling and drawing up on your exhale and releasing at the same time. And then as you inhale, allow the pelvic floor to soften as the belly expands, keeping the throat open and the shoulders soft. And then if this works for you, we're just going to do this a few more times. So as you exhale, you'll lift the pelvic floor, keep the shoulders soft, the chest is broad. And inhale, it's like you're just receiving breath, right? You're opening, your body is opening to receive it. So the pelvic floor softens, the rib cage expands, the belly softens. Notice the places in your body where you feel ease and lightness. And then let's take a clearing breath together. Deep breath into the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And then if you'd like to, take the palms of your hands together and rub them. I can see most of you. I think we're all seated, but if you are reclined, now would be an invitation to come seated. If not, okay. Okay, and so this is a practice that is done in many wisdom traditions and energy work, right? So where you're really kind of activating nadis and hands. So take a moment and stop rubbing the hands and just hover them between each other. You might even feel energy here, okay? And then take your palms and your hands and just hover them over the face, particularly the eyes. We've got a lot of screen time these days. And then over the crown of the head. And down the sides of the head, go over the temples and the cheeks. And then let the hands settle into Anjali Mudra, palms together, thumbs in the chest. And let the sternum rise to meet the thumbs. So the chest broadens here, the shoulder blades slide down the back, collarbones are broad. Right, feel the broadness of your pelvis supporting you to stay tall through the spine. Okay. And then if you'd like to join, we'll tune in by chanting Om once. Okay, so take a deep breath into chant. Om. Take a couple more breaths here, please. Maybe you set an intention for the practice. And then as you're ready, we'll bring our hands down onto our face. So this is going to be one of the first Kriyas that we'll be doing, which is going to be a repetitive movement with your breath, okay? And it's pretty particular how this works, okay? So you're going to open up the heart, so you're going to extend the spine as you press the chest forward and then look up. And this is where I want you to mess with the intensity gauge for yourself, right? So some of us might be like really opening the heart and looking up as we inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to exhale out the mouth and round the spine and tuck the chin. So it looks like this in my body. So as you can imagine, this can get very intense. So I want you to start slowly, right? So you're deeply inhaling through the nose and then clearing exhale out the mouth as you round the spine and tuck the chin. So you're undulating the spine as you breathe here, okay? So begin as you're ready. Hands around your shins or your knees. We'll inhale, pull it up. Exhale. Moving with your breath and your spine here. The Kriya becomes this vehicle for the mind to come out of itself for a moment, right? So we'll go for about another minute. 'Stay with it. Ten more seconds. Okay, come to stillness. Inhale. Lift the pelvic floor. Keep the eyes closed. We'll look up to the third eye. Hold the breath as long as you can here. Keep the shoulders soft. Hold, 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 hold. Keep holding if you can. Lift the pelvic floor. And then exhale. Ooh, good morning. Okay, and then just breathe naturally and notice how you feel. And so as our one of my old teachers, Ananji, would say, this is a great practice to get yourself out of a shit space. If you're in like a stuck place. And this is a Kriya that can be done. You obviously want to build up to it, but this is the Kriya that can be done for up to 5, 10, 15 minutes. I don't recommend it on the first round. Okay. Okay, a couple of deep breaths here. Right, so ground yourself at the same time, right? So feel your sits bones connected to the floor. So we're going to continue in this wavelength of doing kind of intense movement with breath. So this one's going to have a mudra. So you're basically going to create your hands in like little mittens, right? So the fingers are together, the thumbs are wide, and we're going to bring the hands out into like a V shape here, okay? And so we want to think about the arms are like extensions of the heart. So there's this tension that's slightly created where you're opening up the chest, but we're not shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears. So it's more of a broadening than a shrugging, okay? The low back is broad, okay? And this is also, so we're trying to trick the brain. So it's a little bit complicated. So it's okay if it feels confusing when you first start. So the action is going to be, you're going to inhale through the nose as the right arm bends and the arm gently hits the side of the ribs, okay? So that's the inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale through the mouth, the left arm is going to bend and slam against the sides of the ribs on the left side. So you want this to be a gentle-ish slap on the sides of the ribs because we're actually doing lymphatic work here as well as pranayama, okay? So it's inhale nose, exhale mouth. So inhale right. Yeah. You got it. Ten more seconds. Inhale, both arms up. Same thing as before. Lift the pelvic floor. Hold the inhale. And then exhale. Let the arms drift down. Breathe. And notice. Okay, clear your breath. Inhale through the nose, please. Exhale at the mouth. Okay, and then we have to do the other side. Let's see if I can teach it to you. Okay, so hands are like mittens again. Arms are extended out to to a V shape. Okay. So this time we're gonna inhale through the nose as the left arm comes down. Exhale through the mouth as the right arm comes. Okay. As you're ready. So inhale left. Nice, you guys, keep going. A little bit longer. Try to keep that upward angle of the arms. Nice. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold up. Inhale. Lift the pelvic floor. Drishti gaze comes to the third eye. Soften the tops of the shoulders, but keep the tension of the arms. Hold. And exhale, release. And then just breathe and notice. Get curious, right? So feel the parts of you that are moving, right? Energy around you and in you, but also feel the density of your body, right? So how you can activate and become very dynamic, but you're still very grounded. So just noticing how those two opposing forces are supporting each other right now inside of you. Notice a sense of clarity in the mind, a sense of focus. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Okay. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So we've been seated for a while, so please do anything you need to support yourself getting there. So if you need to do a cat-cow or roll the shoulders or get a drink of water, whatever you need. But eventually you'll be on your back, hugging your knees into your body. Yeah. Yeah, it might, I see some of you are doing it. It might feel nice to lift the feet up towards the ceiling once you get there and kind of shake the legs out a bit. Before we move our way down and start to activate the core some more here. Okay. Good. Okay, and then when you're ready, bring the feet down to the floor, please, with the knees bent, and windshield wiper your knees from side to side a few times here with the intention of mobilizing the hips a bit here and massaging the sacrum and the low back on the floor, and maybe stretching and opening through the hip flexors and the low belly. Okay. And then we'll come to center. Okay. We're going to interlace the fingers around the neck. And this is where I start to steal some of the answers. So you're going to bend your elbows with the elbows pointing up towards the ceiling, and then kind of pull the elbows forward a little bit so you feel your scapula, your shoulder blades glue to the backs of the ribs. Okay. The feet are nice and planted down. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your head up using the strength of your abdomen, pull your belly button to your backbone. And then just twist just a tiny bit to the right. The right shoulder blade comes off the floor a little bit more. Yep, they come back through center and then back onto the floor. So that's your inhale here, okay? Exhale, lift your head, hollow out your belly. And then continue to exhale as you twist a little bit to the right, maybe lifting that left scapula off the floor a little more. Okay, come back through center and then back down onto the floor, okay? Inhale, exhale, hollow out your belly as you lift. Okay, and then twist to your left. Maybe you point that elbow a little more towards the left. Good, then come back through center and then lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Twist to the right. Maybe you reach a little bit more to the right. Okay, come back through center. Inhale, come back onto your back. Okay, and then relax and rock the knees from side to side. So that's kind of like layer number one. Okay. If you would like layer number two, I'm going to come back to that shape where you're interlacing the fingers behind your head. Now we're not cranking on the head. I'm assuming most of you already know this, right? So this is just kind of a placeholder, but the elbows are pointing up and then a little bit forward, a little bit back, okay? And then flip the feet off of the floor. This is layer two if you want to, okay? Notice what your low back did when you did that. Can you press your low back into the floor, lifting your pelvic floor? Take an inhale here, and then exhale, lift yourself up. And then slowly twist to the right. Good. Come back to center. And then inhale, lower down. Keep the feet up if you can. Keep pressing the low back down. Exhale, lift the head. Twist to the right. Come back to center. Inhale, lower down. So we're doing this with the breath, right? So exhale. Maybe you exhale a little more as you twist to the left. Inhale, come back to center and down. Keep the face and the throat soft, please. Exhale, lift. Twist to the right, exhale a little more. Inhale, come to center and down. One more time each side. Exhale, lift, press the low back into the floor. Exhale a little more, twist to the left. Come back through center, inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Lower back is pressing down. Exhale a little more, twist to the right. Inhale through center and down. Okay, bring the feet to the floor. Take the heels of your hands and bring them right into your hip creases. So right where the thigh meets the pelvis, and press away. So it's almost like you're locking your elbows a bit here and stretching. You might even feel this in the low back and the glutes and the low belly. Take a deep breath in and stretch the belly. Exhale. Good, okay. And then bring your hands onto the floor, arms on the floor like a cactus or goalpost shape here, okay? And let the arm bones weigh the arms down so you're opening up through the chest. And then again, winch away through your knees from side to side. Okay. Now we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. I'm going to do it kind of more of a ridiculous way. If you want to just meet me there, go for it. But if you'd like to, we're going to hug the legs into the chest. Okay? Keep pressing the low back into the floor as you tuck your chin. So you're compacting yourself here. You're going to start to roll forward and back on your spine, using your navel center to generate the movement. Okay? Only if this is fun for you. Okay? And then eventually, you'll kind of rest on your sits bones, cross your ankles, roll over your shins. I'm not fancy enough to do the jump back. Okay? You'll come to your tabletop. From your tabletop, you'll do whatever you need. You might do a little hip circles, cat-cow. And then eventually, we'll end up in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Okay? I'm just going to watch you. And when we're all together, we'll start moving again. Take your time getting there, please. All right, so again, we're playing around a lot with this like structured, defined movement, and then throwing in like dynamism, like volatility. Beautiful, you guys. Okay. We're here. Can you rotate your triceps back, right? So it's like your hands are on two jar lids and you're twisting them in opposite directions away. So the right hand twists to the right a little bit, the left hand twists to the left. And you do that in order to kind of externally rotate the arms. At the same time, can you glue the inferior angle of your scapula, the bottom pointy part of from your shoulder blade down the backwards? Hollow out your belly till you feel your tailbone kind of tuck, and you might bend your knees to do that to create more length and space in the side body and the spine. But at the same time, root the heels down. Okay, let go of any tension in the neck as best you can. Take a deep breath in and out. And then just gently bring your gaze forward and tiptoe your feet to your hands and come to a fold at the front of your mat, please. Okay, take a halfway lift when you get there. Do this to pull the ribcage away from the pelvis. But you're sending the sits bones back and you're hollowing out the belly so the low back is broad. And then as you exhale again, drape that length over yourself. Support yourself here if you need to, so your hands might come to blocks. You might bring your forearms onto your thighs. It's a really nice variation. And again, just let the head hang as best you can. Okay. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the legs and roll ourselves up. Okay, take a couple minutes here, roll the shoulders back. And depending on where you're at, if it's appropriate for you to kind of hop up and down a few times. Yeah, just so you're getting a little more grounded in the feet. Your awareness is in your feet. Yeah, some of you guys are shaking your legs out and stuff. That's awesome. Okay. And then I'll meet you in Tadasana. Okay, so mountain pose. You rotate the palms forward. The chest is open. Take an exhale, please. And as you inhale, swoop your arms out and up overhead. And exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, please. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, step your right foot back and find warrior one, please. You're going to rotate the right heel down. You're gently bending into the left knee. And when you feel stable here, rise yourself up, just kind of lazy with the arms. Okay, so you don't really need to do much with the arms. I want you to be more interested in what's going on with your legs and your feet. Okay, so the left hip is tucking back underneath you as the knee charges forward. You've got a tiny bit more weight in that front heel to engage the hamstring here. And the outer edge of the right foot is plugged down, but so is the big toe mound. The inner thighs are rotating towards each other and back, so there's this internal rotation. And the pubic bone is tucking gently up towards the low ribs, okay? Exhale, soften the arms. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, broaden the hands away from each other like your shoulders are settling down in on themselves, right? Keep the low ribs cinched here, keep the tailbone tucked. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, pull the hands back behind you, down to the floor. And step back to your plank position. Good. Take a breath here. What are your shoulder blades up to? Can you glue them to your back ribs as you charge your chest forward? Keep rotating the hands back, right, the triceps back. Maybe inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees, hug the elbows in, lower the chest and the chin. Keep scooping the low belly. Soften the tops of the feet into the floor. Inhale, press the chest forward and up to cobra. Right, the hands are gently pressing down and back to charge the chest forward. Okay, release the back bend. Hook your toes, press yourself up through your plank or tabletop, and then back we go, Adho Mukha Svanasana again. Check in, where do you feel ease in your body? Where do you feel lightness? Okay, deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. End of your exhale, your feet come to your hands, fold at the front of your mat, please. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Roll the weight into the heels till you feel your glutes charge up, and then inhale, scoop yourself all the way up to standing. And then exhale, arms come out the sides. Down, open up your chest here. Put your back in your Tadasana. Take a deep breath in. And out. Inhale, swoop the arms out and up, please. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back. We'll find Virabhadrasana 1 on the other side, warrior 1, right? So that back heel comes down. Up you come again. Lazy in the arms, just heavy. Okay. Feel the left arch lifting. Okay. Feel that right glute tucking underneath you as you charge the knee forward. Feel the pubic bone lifting up towards the low ribs. Take an exhale here, root down through the feet. And then inhale, float the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, settle the arm bones down to the shoulder socket as you open your arms a little wider. Notice if anything happened in the low back. Stay broad. Inhale again, please. Exhale, pull the hands back behind you, down to the floor. Step back to your plank position. Nice. Inhale here. Strong through the shoulders. Exhale, lower the knees, the chest, and the chin. Inhale to your back bend. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, where can you feel ease and lightness in your body? Okay, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. End of your exhale, feet come to hands, however you want to get from there. Hop, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Strong through the posterior chain, right? The backs of the legs as you rise yourself up. Palms gently touch, and then as you exhale, arms come down the sides of the body. Nice and slow. Good. Let's find Samasthiti, right? So hands at heart center. As you're in your Tadasana. Like we did before in our seated shape, right? The sternum rises to meet the thumbs as the collarbones broaden and the shoulder blades drop down. Feel the sensation of your feet on the floor. And again, find senses of ease in the body. If it works for you, heel toe your feet together. So if you've got low back stuff going on, might be best to keep the feet hips width apart. Otherwise, I'm going to have you really zip up through your center line. So the inside soles of the feet are together, or in their edges, right? And then the thighs are working towards each other. They're magnetizing towards each other and back, right? So you're internally rotating the thighs here to broaden through the low back, okay? Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, we're going to come into chair. Okay, so think about going back with the hips as opposed to bending the knees forward. So just start to roll the weight into the heels as you plug down through the balls of the feet. Okay, hollowing out the low belly. Now here's where there's lots of supported variations. Okay, so the hands can stay on the thighs. This is a really nice option. Okay, you're still hollowing out the belly though. Okay, or you can have hands at heart center. Keep the collarbones broad, keep the head growing out of the shoulder girdle here. And if you'd like to, you can pull the fingertips back behind you, really opening up the chest. Keep hollowing out the low belly as you do this. And if you want a little more along the back body, start to reach the arms along the ears. So you're reaching forward and up with the fingertips. As the bum goes back, yeah. Breathe here. Keep the low back nice and broad. Maybe the shoulders lift just a smidge. If you start to feel any pressure in the low back, please back off. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands to heart center. Keep the bend of the knees if you can. Start to shift your weight into your right foot. Don't let the right hip move. Come to the ball of the left foot. So I'm assuming you're feeling a lot going on in that right hip, okay? Keep the right knee bent. Slowly start to pull the left knee up towards your chest. Ooh. And then step that left foot back. Warrior 1 again. Hello. Okay. Settle into that back foot. Ooh. Good. And then when you feel nice and steady here, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling and open them wide. Breathe. Feel the inner thighs pulling toward each other. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull the hands back behind you down to the floor. Step back to your plank position, please. This time, bring the insides of the feet together again in this plank shape. Knees can come down if you want, okay? Glue the shoulder blades to the back of the ribs, and then start to rock your heels from side to side, keeping the shoulders still. Come back to center, please. Keep this nice narrow shape with the legs. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So it's super narrow. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend your knees, press them apart as you send your bum down towards your heels. Yeah. And then inhale back to that narrow downward facing dog. And then one more time coming into that funky squat. So exhale, bend the knees. Good. Inhale back to downward facing dog. Exhale to root the heels down. Inhale again. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. End of exhale, feet come to hands, fold the foot on your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to standing. Exhale, drift the arms down the sides of the body. And just settle in. Notice how you feel. Notice where the mind is going. And you bring your awareness back to the places that feel easeful and light. Okay. Let's take a clearing breath together. Inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Heel toe your feet together if that works for you. Okay. Zip up through your center line. So the inner thighs are pressing towards each other and then back, right? The pelvic floor is lifting. Inhale the arms out and up. So as the fingertips are reaching up, you're rooting down through the feet, okay? Exhale, palms touch. Come into your variation of chair. Again, there's no real right or wrong way to do this, as long as you're really paying attention, okay? We will focus on the posterior chain a little bit more, so rolling the way back into the heels. Feel the glutes wrapping down the backs of the legs, which will encourage a broadness in the low back. And then maybe calling on the strength of your erector spinae group, right? The muscles along your back. Lifting the chest up. But not at the detriment of your low back, right? So if you feel pressure on the low back, please bring the hands to the thighs or back off on this chest lift, okay? And then deepen as you want to. Maybe you pull the fingertips back behind you. Maybe you reach the fingertips up overhead, right? My favorite quote these days, what am I sacrificing to get what I want? So what did you sacrifice to lift your arms over your head? Just be curious. Okay. Hands to heart center, please. Shift the weight into the left foot, but try not to move the hip, okay? Come to the ball of the right foot, so you're really fired up on this left hip, okay? Keep the low belly lifted, pull that right knee up towards the chest, strong legs. Good, slowly step this right foot back. Whew. Warrior 1 other side, okay? Find your alignment and your stability here. Okay, and then as you're ready, kind of open up into the shape, right? So lift the fingertips up, open the chest, but feel the stability of your pelvis, allowing this movement to be safe in your body, right? Take a deep breath in. Exhale, pull the hands back behind you. Down to the floor. Here we go, back to our plank. Again, narrow plank. So insides of the legs, the feet are together. We're gluing the shoulder blades to the back body. Tuck the chin up just a bit here so you're long through the neck. And then see how it feels to rock the knees, the heels from side to side. So this can be a bigger little movement. I just want to get you acquainted with core muscles here. Yeah? One more time. Okay, come back to center. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. So it's that narrow down dog that works in your body. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to rotate the knees out so the heels are going to touch. And you bend the knees and send your bum towards your heels. Okay? Then inhale, come back to that narrow down dog. And then one more time, you come up to the balls of the feet, rotate the knees out, and bend your knees as you send your bum towards your heels. The arms stay long. Okay, good. And then up you come, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then widen your feet so you're in more of a traditional variation of this shape. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, come down into child's pose. Lower the knees. Shift the hips back. Take your favorite variation. So maybe with the arms long, arms wide. And then own your practice, right? If this isn't a shape that's supportive for you, just soften and relax. You have the agency to change, right? So just remember that. Steady breath. Where do you feel and sense lightness and ease? Take a deep breath in, please. And out. We'll come on up to tabletop position. Okay. Move intuitively here for a few breaths, right? So maybe some cat-cows, maybe stirring the hips. Maybe you go right back to child's pose, right? Kind of listening and playing in your body. And then I'll meet you in hands and knees, okay? So we'll find our alignment here. So the fingers are spread wide. We're pressing down to the finger pads. Again, that outward wrapping of the triceps, the upper backs of the arms are wrapping back, right? So this kind of like stabilizes the shoulder. The chin is tucking in towards the neck. The belly is lifted, okay? And then just press the sole of the right foot up towards the ceiling with the knee bent, like a donkey kick, okay? But can you keep the pelvis still here? Keep pressing the floor away from you and then start to stir that knee in a circle, I don't know, like 3 times in one direction. And then 3 in the other. Okay. Now I'll meet you back here on this donkey kick. This might be a better vantage point for you guys to see, okay? And then we're gonna do kind of like a fire hydrant shape here. So you're just gonna start to rotate the knee out. So like a donkey fire hydrant. And then see if you can pull this knee up towards your arm a bit here. And then straighten the leg and then rotate the toes down. Let's see if I can show you in a different angle. Okay, so we're here. And then you kind of like dog peeing on a fire hydrant shape and pull the knee up towards the arm. And then straighten the leg completely as you rotate the toes down. Okay, and then we'll bring the knee under the hip. Rock the hips from side to side. And then we'll do the other side, okay? So find your stability. And as you're ready, you're gonna press the sole of the left foot up towards the ceiling with the knee bent. Big circle with that left knee in one direction. Keep the pelvis as still as you can. So the circles might be small, okay? And then other direction. Okay, come to center here, so the knee is bent. Then you rotate the knee out to the side, okay? And then pull the knee towards your arm as much as you can, okay? Then press the leg back behind you, straighten the leg, rotate the toes down, then bend the knee. We'll do it again. Rotate the knee out to the side, pull the knee towards the arm. Yeah, good, you guys. Okay, and then press the leg back, straighten it, rotate the pinky toe down, knee comes under the hip. Ooh, sway the hips from side to side. Okay, and then back to child's pose, please. Okay, and then from our child's pose, we'll take a side stretch. So start to walk the hands to the right. As you sink the left hip back, breathe into the side ribs. Let the back of the neck relax. Another side, walk your hands to the left. Right hip is heavy. Breathe deeply into the right side body. And come back to center. Then bring your hands underneath your shoulders and roll yourself upright. You're in a hero's pose now. Okay. And then a little bit of toes pose if you can, if it works in your body, right? So it's when we curl the toe under and bring our bum over our heels. So props at home, right? So you might have a rolled up blanket under your groin. You might bring a blanket under heels. You might skip this toe pose part altogether. For many of us, it is intense, and that's intentional, right? But can you check in with your own wisdom, right? That intensity is safe, okay? Then you're gonna take your fingers and you're gonna press the tips of your fingers together. You're creating a ball. And you're gonna bring that hand, this mudra, over the low belly, the lower dantian. The chest is open, the face is relaxed. So you're just gonna breathe here and notice. Where do you feel lightness? And notice the noticer, yeah? Notice the part of you that's watching it. Steady breath. Nice. Okay, inhale. Exhale. We're going to release the mudra, bring the hands down onto the floor, release the choke pose if you've got it, and then hang your feet on the floor. Shake the feet out. Good. Okay. And we're back in our tabletop position. Taking a couple of cat cows together. So exhale, round the spine. Inhale, find that healthy extension all the way up through the crown of the head. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. One more like that, please. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Okay, come to center. Hook your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog, please. Take about 3 breaths here, really focusing on lengthening through the heels, the calves, and the thighs. Okay, so it's as if energetically the muscles are lifting up through the sits bones. And the soles of the feet are really broad. Those muscles attach all the way to the bottoms of your feet. So keep the feet intentional here as well.
Okay, exhale, please. Inhale, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, three-legged dog. Then bend the right knee and rotate your hips. Coming into this funky scorpion shape. Keep the weight equal in the hands, please. Maybe you do a few circles with that foot. Okay. Then straighten the right leg and square the hips. So back to three-legged dog. And then exhale, we're going to work this foot forward. Maybe you assist it and lower the left knee down. So we're going to lunge here, okay? And then heel toe the right foot to the right and bring that hand inside the foot. So we're in this. Nice. Okay. And I'm going to trust that you'll grab props if you have them removed. Okay. The right hand comes onto the right thigh. This left hand is plugged down. So maybe use a fist, maybe tight your fingertips, maybe the palm print for your own book. Okay. Take a moment here and check in. What is this left shoulder blade doing? Can you glue it to the backs of the ribs as you plug this left hand down to rotate the right shoulder up towards the ceiling, coming into an upper spinal twist. Yeah. Okay. So many variations here. She can be right. So you might start to magnetize your inner thighs together a bit more to feel stable in the pelvis, and then reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. This is an option for firing. If you want to feel more releasing, keep that hand on the thigh and just let the hips sink down. Okay. Right? And if this feels stable and safe in the low back, maybe you start to pull the left heel towards your bum and reach back behind you and see if they want to connect. Okay? So one way to access this a little more deeply is to hinge at the hips and send the bum back towards the heel. Okay? And then you notice this broadness in the low back. Keep that as you start to sink forward again. So if you're cranking on anything, please just kind of let that go. Again, what am I sacrificing to get what I want? Breathe. Wherever you're at, breathe. Okay. If you have the bind on the foot, please let that go. Hook the left toes, reach this right hand back, forward, and down. Okay, so we're back in our lizard. Left knee is down, toes are hooked. Start to pull the hips back. Keep the big toe mount of the right foot plugged down. I hope you guys can see this. So like you're pressing into a gas pedal. So this right knee may not straighten all the way. It's a trajectory, but not an end goal necessarily. Think more about your plugging down to the right big toe mount as you steer the right hip back and keep the low back broad here. Couple of breaths. Okay, and then if you want to go a little deeper, you can roll over the heel of that right foot. And so we're doing this from like a wider variation too. But again, I want you to think about the right hip coming back underneath you as opposed to trying to straighten the knee. Maybe you wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knee, walk the hands forward. Lift the left knee up. Step the right foot back and transition to downward facing dog, please. Okay, this is technically a vinyasa class, so if you need a flow, please take it. Right, so if you want to shift forward the plank down, up all that fun stuff, go for it. Don't feel like you have to go. Eventually, we'll come to three-legged dog. Whenever you're ready, you'll float that left leg up towards the ceiling. Find that hip opener to begin with. So bend the left knee. Keep the hips broad as you start to open and stack the hip points. Pressing down and away from you with your hands. And then straighten the left leg, square the hips as best you can. Strong low belly, start to pull the knee forward. Work that left foot in between the hands to begin with and lower the right knee down. Yeah, so step by step, right? Once you get there, heel toe the foot to the left, bring the hand inside the foot. Now we're in our lizard lunge. Nice. So please prioritize the safety of your low back and the openness of your chest over how much you pretzel yourself, okay? So this right hand is in a fist, on a book, handprint on the floor, plugging it down. Think about what this right shoulder blade is doing, and you glue it to the back body, and notice how that like just naturally makes the left shoulder want to come up. Start with the left hand on the thigh. Just notice how you feel, okay? If you want a little bit more here, I want you, it's a subtle transition, but you are pulling the inner thighs towards each other so the pelvis is stable, and then lifting the left hand up towards the ceiling. Nice, if you want to, right? And then maybe you start to reach that left hand back and just see how it feels to pull the right heel towards your bum, and then maybe the hand and the ankle and the foot touch. Maybe they don't. Again, notice what you're sacrificing to get what you want. Maybe you pull your bum back towards your heel for a moment. Okay, and then notice where that stretches through the quadricep, and then maybe shift this forward again. Steady breath. Okay, if you have the bind of the foot, please let that go. Reach the left hand up and over. Let's inside the left foot again. Okay, so we're still in this lizard lunge. And then you just shift the hips back. Keep plugging down through the big toe mound of the left foot though. Okay, so again, more so interested in this left hip pulling back with the knee straightening. And pressing down through the big toe mound. Notice where you feel this. Keep the low belly hollowed out as you puff the chest forward just a bit. Soften the tops of the shoulders. Okay, and then maybe you walk the hands back a little more so you could roll over the heel. Ooh, okay, and you know I'm a foot nerd, right? So just see how it feels if you start to like rotate your foot from side to side or over your toes. Many of us will feel this in the legs or the ankles and this kind of stuff, okay? Steady your breath. And then we'll slowly walk the hands forward, bend into that left knee. Okay, right toes are hooked, lift the right knee off the floor, step back to your downward facing dog. Three steady breaths here in your down dog, please. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower the knees down. And let's transition onto our backs. So we'll do a little bit more, a couple more shapes here, and then we'll come to Shavasana. So you might grab whatever you want to. Nice. Okay. Okay. Let's float the feet up towards the ceiling. Super lazy like, okay? And I cross the right thigh in front of the left and bend the knees. If this doesn't feel appropriate in your body, figure 4 is an option as well when you take the right ankle over the left thigh, okay? You are in this more upward reclined cow face essentially. You're gonna grab what you can. So it might be the knees, it might be the shins, it might be the ankles. And you're just gently coaxing the legs towards the body. So this is a hip stretch, but it's also an abdominal compression. Okay, so it's doing a couple of different things here. The head is heavy, the shoulders are relaxed. You might kind of rock from side to side. Might be interesting to steer your legs. So you kind of steer them clockwise or counterclockwise and see where you feel different things. But if you can, let the weight of your legs compress your belly. Two more breaths here. Breathe your belly into your legs. And as you exhale, let the weight of the legs press into the belly. Slowly unravel the legs, straighten them up towards the ceiling, and shake them out. Shake, 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 shake. Good, okay. Come to stillness. And we'll do the other side. So crossing the left thigh over the right or the left ankle over the right. And then you just gently bend the knees. And we're not forcing anything. Okay. Grab hold of what you can. All right, so there's intention to this, but it's play as well, right? So like you're like, oh, when I rotate my legs clockwise, I feel it in my hip here, whatever it is, right? So just be curious about your body. Trust your instincts to know where to stop, where to land. And same thing on this side, right? So as you breathe in, the belly expands, presses into the legs. And as you exhale, the weight of the legs presses the belly. Okay, next inhale, across the legs, please. Stretch the legs up towards the ceiling. Shake it out one more time. Okay. Then we'll bring the feet down and the legs down. So we're in a reclined position here. Full body stretch. So reach the arms along the ears. Reach in opposite directions with fingertips and feet. Inhale. Exhale, we'll bend the left knee and gently coax it in towards the body. And then find a twist here, right? So right hand on left knee, maybe the left arm comes out to the side. Gently start to pull this leg out. So this is kind of a more intense way to get into this recline twist. I know most of you, and I know you have your own practices, right? So if you need to, take that right leg and tuck it underneath the left. Good. Two more breaths here, please. Okay. On your next inhale, come out of the twist, please. Come back to that full body stretch. Right, so we're reaching, opening the front of the body. Take a big breath in. Exhale, right knee bends, gently squeeze it into the body. And then twist in the other direction as you're ready. Okay. Be soft with yourself. Let gravity help you. Two more breaths here, please. Okay, as you're ready, you'll come out of your twist and set yourself up for your integration, right? So that might be Shavasana for you, that might be seated meditation. Taking time and being intentional about setting yourself up to stay and receive for the next 7 minutes or so. There's this very simple mantra, Soham, which is Sanskrit, so whenever we try to translate it in English, but essentially it's this reminder of who we truly are. It's Soham, I am the universe, I'm divine, I am Satguru, I am God, whatever resonates for you. I am nature. Soham. Soham. The mind gets attached. That's what it does. And then we forget who we really are. But every time we come to our practice, we're retraining ourselves to remember this time and again. So hard. Notice where you feel ease, lightness. Reside in the truth that that is you. Bring your attention back into your body. Start to deepen your breath. And as you're ready, find movement in your body. We slowly transition back up to a seated shape. As always, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana. But if you'd like to join, we'll
really loving finishing these practices with alternate nostril breathing. This is a very simple and powerful practice to integrate into your life on a daily basis. It really does cultivate balance. So with this lineage of Nadi Shodhana, you make a gentle fist, right? And you use your thumb and your ring finger on your right hand, and it comes right up to the nose, okay? We're gonna keep the spine tall, and if you've got shoulder mischief, my teacher likes to say, you can always like support your elbow with your hand or bring a bolster underneath you, okay? So from here, we'll take a complete exhale out of both nostrils. And close the right nostril with your thumb, inhale through the left. As you get to the peak of your inhale, close the left nostril, maybe hold for a beat. Then open the right exhale. Inhale right. Close the right nostril, hold if you can. And then exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. If you were familiar with this, just moving with your own pace. Next time you exhale out your right nostril, don't rush. Next time you get there, you'll release the mudra and bring both hands to your lap. And then if you'd like to join, we'll take the palms of the hands together, thumbs to the sternum, Anjali mudra. Again, open up the heart. If you'd like to join, we'll close by chanting Om. So clearing breath first. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale to chant. Om. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. May you remember your true nature, which is love, trust, and reasonless joy. And may you remember that you are strong and wise. Thank you for being you.